Hi everyone, my name is Ayobami Ochino, and I'm a data analyst based in Lagos. So I frequently drop videos on this channel that help simplify the data analysis concept. Today I'll be taking us through, some rudiments of MySQL, some best practices, and how we do it in MySQL. This is not to teach us any special topic, but just to teach us those little things that really we don't really count as anything, but they really matter at the end of the day. So first thing first is in MySQL, there is a way you type your variables. There's a way you name your variables. There's a way you name your columns, a way you name your tables, a way you name things. Anything that is a variable, there's a way you name it so that it does not clash with the inbuilt functions in SQL. So let's look at some of them. Um, Basically, in programming, we have three ways of naming variables. We have what we call the camel case, we have what we call the Pascal case, and we have what we call underscore. So you can use any of these three primary names that you feel that suits you. But briefly, I'm going to be showing you the three so you can determine which one is best for you before we go into more writing SQL queries. So the first one I called was the camel case. So how does the camel case look like? Okay, so for instance, let me write this. So let's assume I wanted to write maybe first name, last name, and middle name. So if I wanted to use camel case, this is how it would be. First name, last name, sorry, middle name. So as you can see, this is camel case. Let me put into bracket camel, camel case. So as you can see, as in the case of the camel case, the first letter starting the first part of the word is always a small letter. Then the other word that is joined to it is starting with a capital letter. The essence of doing this is because in SQL you cannot afford to leave space between two words. Like instance, when we write first name, when we write my name, you cannot afford to put the space in between because that will not work in SQL. So the best way to write those kind of variables is to use one of these ways, which is the camel case or the other forms of cases. So I will show you the second way in which we can do it. So let me also comment this out. This is the called the Pascal case. In the case of the Pascal case, what we do is the first letter of the word starts with, for instance, first name, last name, and middle name. This is called the Pascal case. Pascal case. Yeah, this is called the Pascal case. As you can see with the Pascal case, the main difference between the Pascal case and the Camel case is that with the Pascal case, the first word or the first letter of the first word starts with a capital letter, and the first letter of the second word also starts with a capital letter, but they are written together. Like I said earlier, spaces must be eliminated. The third way we can choose to use the third type of casing. That is called the underscore. When we use underscore, we write like this format. First name or last name or middle name. This is called the underscore method. Underscore. As you can see, rather than use space between each word, what you do is you use underscore. This is the method I use personally. But then from time to time, I also use other type of cases. But these are the three primary ways that SQL has set for you to name your variables. This might look so easy and so simple and look like something you shouldn't bother about. But then this might at times as a beginner, it might be the difference between your code that runs and the code that does not run. Yes, the second thing to note is how to write comments in SQL. In every coding language, there's a provision for a way to write comments. In SQL, it is not different. because sometimes you might need to put descriptions in your queries so that whenever you save that query and you come back to it in the future, you might be able to know what you actually did back there in the time past. So the essence of writing comments does not add anything to your code. Yes, it adds to the lines of your code, but it does not have any functionality in your code. It's just for you to mark a point and to remind yourself of what you did at any particular point. So for comments, whenever we want to write a single line comment, we put this symbol 1, 2, then we write whatever we want to write. For instance, I can say this is a code of this is my first query. As you can see that this comment is shown in blue, and because it is shown in blue, MySQL understands not to run this comment as a code. It's only there for viewing sake. Imagine I come to the next line and I write a line of code. For instance, I say select. As you can see, this is already a code. Why? Because I've not put the comments symbols before it. And so MySQL sees it as a code. And that is why it is putting this error sign that this code that you have written is incomplete. But then if I choose to put these symbols and a space beside it, MySQL turns it into a comment. So this is how to write a simple line comment in MySQL. But sometimes you might need more than a single line of comment. You might want to write a comment that takes more than one line. How do we do that in MySQL? So I'll show you that. Simply, you use this symbol. So now that I've put this symbol, I can write how many how many lines of comment I want in between these asterisks, and MySQL will not disturb me because it understands that this is where I started the comment, and until it sees this, the comment has not ended. So I can say this is my first query, and I'll bring it to another line and say, but I plan to write many more. Many. I wrote this comment to remind me of what to write. So that is it. Once we put this symbol and close the line for our for our multiple line comment, and we come to the next line, SQL believes that we are done with our comment, and whatever we write now will be seen as a line of code. As you can see, my error symbol is back now. Another thing you also have to learn with MySQL is how to terminate each of your command. Whenever you write a line of command, for instance, you write select this from maybe a database. I can say from diabetes care. You always have to terminate it with this semicolon symbol. The semicolon symbol shows that you are done with your statement and your statement is complete. Every line of query that you write in SQL must be terminated with this symbol. It's just that SQL assumes that you are not done talking until you put this semicolon symbol. So never forget to put your semicolon symbol to show that your query is completed. So this will be all today. If you have found this video helpful or educative in one way or the other, please try to subscribe to this channel and click on the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I drop new videos on this channel. Till later, thank you.